This is my solution to any overheating issues that I might have with my A7 IV. I made a little 3D printed fan and duct. This slides onto the Manfrotto camera plate and sets up against the back of the camera. Some of the air blows across the back of the camera because it gets quite warm back in here, and some of it is redirected to blow across the open battery compartment underneath the bottom of the camera. Since I've been using this, I have not had any kind of overheating problems. This is powered by a little USB-C port. I run a USB-C cable up and plug it in here when I want the fan to run. And here is the new version that I just made. I made one in black because I just got a second A7 IV and I wanted to be able to run them both at the same time, and I figured since I was going to print another one, I would print it in black to match the rest of my gear. This is the fan assembly we're going to make, and the parts that we need are these two 3D printed parts. We need this USB fan. We need these two screws. These are M3 screws. One of them is 20 millimeters long and the other one is 16 millimeters long. We will need two M3 nuts, and we'll need this little female USB adapter board that will let us power the fan. We'll use the existing assembly that I already made to show us how to put the parts together. We're going to take this fan, put it like this, then we're going to use this screw to go through, and we're going to put an M3 nut on the back side like this. And we'll tighten that up. We'll use the 16 millimeter screw up front, and we'll tighten that one down. Okay, so that should take care of the fan, and the shroud now should slip right over top of this. Yep, and it does. That's good. And now we just need to take care of the power. So we're going to feed these wires through the slot and then solder them onto this adapter. And then we'll shove the adapter back up inside. So let's cut these wires around right here. And then we'll pull off this black plastic insulation like that. Wires will go down through the slot. The wires end up kind of coming down like this when they're shoved back up inside. So that kind of tells us where we need to trim them off. We'll trim them off right around here, about that length. I'm going to strip off just a little bit off the end of this wire, just to expose a tiny little bit. Like that. So to tin the wires, I get a little bit of flux on the end of that wire like that, and on this one. Here we go. I got to do it quick because these wires, the insulation will melt. Now we'll tin the pads on the USB connector, and to do that I take a little bit of flux from my flux thing and then I smear it on the terminal like this. So I'm going to get a little solder right on my soldering iron. There we go. Okay, those are tinned. Now it's just a matter of connecting the solder on the end of the wire to the solder ball that's on the circuit board. And one of these is V for voltage, the other one is G for ground. G for ground is going to go to the black wire, like this, and then just do a real quick touch, and that connects them. That's it. They're connected. So that should give us power. And let's test that with a USB cable. Plug it in and hopefully nothing will blow up. There we go. Working fan. Now we're going to take this connector and shove it back down into this hole. Like this. There we go. And then this wire just kind of wraps around like this, so that when you put the shroud on, it'll slide on fairly easily. Like that. Now when I plug in my USB cable, I have air that blows out right here across the battery and blows out right here across the back of the screen of the camera. Here's the fan assembly installed on the back of the camera. It slides onto the extension of the Manfrotto plate. Just goes right there, like that. And we have air that blows out of there across the back of the camera. And then we have air underneath here that blows across the battery compartment. With the battery door open, the air can blow right through there.